Okay, I won't leave you completely stranded there with the assessment plan for John. I've left the first page for you to fill out, you know, the basic information. And I'll be interested, it won't be necessary to be satisfactory, but I'll be interested to see if you'll go back to John's assessment plan when we actually go and open up the unit of competency and locate that, and see if you go back and put in the unit descriptor. I've actually left you with the unit code, so the unit title there, we'll see if you go back and fill that one in, just out of interest. Now, we're on page 2 of John's assessment plan. Okay, so I've let you have a little peek there at the context. The context is, the circumstances. The context usually relates to whether it's in the workplace or whether it's in a simulated working environment. So you've got Susan, who was e-learning from home, okay? And so that's going to be a lot of simulated workplace contexts, whereas with a forklift, we definitely need that to be occurring either in an actual workplace or in a simulated workplace, but it must occur on an actual forklift if he's going for the full forklift license. So it can't be a forklift simulator, like he can't jump into some robotic machine that isn't a forklift and have a little screen in front of him and pretend to drive around. He can't have a forklift simulator, but he can have the workplace simulation. So he could actually go completely out of the workplace where he has a risk of running over any of the employees and just be in a factory with like an empty pallet crate or something. So that's that's something that we'll start to explore when we look at the packaging rules there. So at the moment, the context is in the workplace, and it must actually occur, use a forklift, okay? So the instructions are to have a translator present, and follow all OH&S, occupational health and safety policies and procedures. Okay, very important for John at this stage of the game. Okay, so I'm going to show you a couple of little tricks here now with Word documents. And when you're going and working for an RTO, a registered training organisation, which you have to do as a trainer and assessor, you would be using their documents, but these are a couple of handy little tricks. So with the mapping part here, you can see, this is left like Susan's last one. He won't have a portfolio of evidence like Susan, so you can just click on that cell. I'm just going to open that little ribbon up there, go to Home, and then you've got this little shading box there. So I'm going to shade it black. If yours isn't set to black, just change it to black there. Okay. Now I'm going to go on to the next cell there, practical demonstration. He definitely needs to make a practical demonstration, so I'm going to open that up to no colour. So the black represents the assessment types that aren't applicable. All right, this is part of our planning our different types of assessment. He won't have written assessment because of the language literacy and numeracy, but we might have some oral or written questions definitely to check his knowledge. And we will be doing some observations of him, so we'll just open that option. And so what have we got? A practical demonstration. The fact that we're observing that's an extremely strong piece of evidence. You need at least one direct or indirect type of evidence, and then you can have some supplementary evidence like questionnaires to you know, as a strong form of checking his knowledge. Okay, so the practical demonstration and the observation checklist, that's an extremely strong way of checking his skills and his attitudes. Obviously here we've got a big issue with attitude towards safety, so we're observing that he's following the safety rules here. So we won't take third-party evidence in this case. We've certainly got adequate evidence now. So whoops, go back to the right thing. There we go. So look, that'll all be set up there for you. I just wanted to show you that little trick of how, you know, how we actually plan and work out what types of evidence on an electronic document. So always make sure you save that. And I'm going to let you, when the thing is how to, you know, license to operate a forklift, have a think about what resource you might definitely need, a resource that can't be a simulated resource that I was just talking about at the beginning of this YouTube presentation. So I'll let you complete the end of that document. Good luck with that.